I remember pretty specifically in December, President Biden told us that he would think about whether he'd run again in 2024 and he'd make a decision over Christmas. And then he told us he'd make a decision after the State of the Union. And then we didn't hear anything again. But we did hear a pretty, I think, resounding and ringing endorsement by the most important person in his life this past weekend. Joe Biden, Kevin, indicated really at the start of the weekend that they are now just kind of trying to figure it out. What's the best time and the best place to announce his candidacy?
Yeah, if Joe Biden was looking for permission from his wife to run for a second term, he has it, apparently. She said this weekend, hey, time and place. That's what we're thinking about right now. He's definitely got her support. Dr. Jill Biden, apparently has no concerns about his ability to start a second term at age 82. If he were to win, he would be 86 years old when he completes his term. I don't know. Maybe the Bidens looked at this new Marist Institute for Public Opinion poll. Came out last week on Wednesday. It found a major shift in public opinion about Biden. Now 50% of Democrats or Democrat-leading independents believe that their party has a better chance of winning again with Biden versus 45% who think they'd have a better chance with someone else. Now, go back to just last November. 54% of Democrats and Democrat-leading independents thought someone other than Biden would be better bet for 2024, and just 38% thought Biden would be the person who could win. So the winds are shifting. That poll was taken after the State of the Union, by the way, Tom, but before his trip to Kiev. So I don't know if that may even go up more than that. Joining us now is Roshini Rajkumar, political strategist and host of the podcast, The Crisis Files. Good morning, Roshini. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Great to be with you.
So, what's your reaction to Jill giving Joe the green light? If his wife's not worried about his health, should we be worried?
Well, what is she going to say, Kevin? I mean, come on, right? I mean, she's not going to.
That would be a crisis file.
That would be a crisis file if I could get her. But that's the thing. She has to be positive about it. But if you look at the numbers, even that 50%, is that seriously a ringing endorsement for a sitting president that 50% of Democrats think we're better with you on the ticket than not? I mean, I think it's not just about Biden, and I've come on your show, I've talked with both of you many times. I am not a Biden fan. I do think the Democrats and the Republicans need to be looking at their next generation of leaders, and you have this cycle, if Biden runs again, which it looks like he will, for president, then we are putting off 2 to 4 years finding that next generation of leaders. And it's not just the 70-year-olds. We're talking the 30 through the 70-year-olds we need to find, Kevin and Bob.
I watched Jill Biden out there, and she watches after Joe so closely because he does get confused. And she goes up and she says, hey, come over here, takes his hand and does these different things. And it just makes me wonder on a personal level if for people who wanted Joe to not run, if she was the one person they would have had to convince, because I feel like if she told Joe, look, you've done it all, let's just take some time with the grandkids, we don't need this anymore, that he might listen to Jill over anyone else. But apparently that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps. It's a pretty sweet job being the president and being the first lady of the United States. I mean, even, does reality really stay with you once you're in that role? You've got your bodyguards, you've got, anything you want to eat at any time of the day. I mean, it's a really nice life to then say, oh yeah, Joe, I don't think you should do this again. Let's not do this another 4 years. So it's really got to be other factors that weigh in here, both for the seasoned politician that Joe Biden is and what he really wants for the country. And that's what I hope comes out. But it doesn't look like my wish is going to be granted. It looks like we're going to get some kind of announcement here.
Yeah, it looks like it. And, Joe Biden says regarding her husband, he's not finished what he started. And so I look at this and I think, okay, since Joe Biden became president, inflation rate has jumped maybe about 14% to record territories. Real wages are not keeping pace. We're in this proxy war with Russia. We've had more than 5 million illegal border crossing. Crime is up. But Joe Biden said that her husband isn't done yet. Does that concern you?
It really does concern me. It concerns me, and it should concern all of us. It also takes strong leaders in the Democratic Party who aren't part of the administration, who hopefully have his ear and can advise accordingly and just really talk through all the different scenarios. I mean, there are so many things that could happen if he were to run again. And then the second, if he were to win. He is older. There are a lot of different health issues that could happen. He has not seemed really fully stable health-wise, even when he ran the first time for president here. So I'm just really concerned on many levels.
Okay, well, let's just assume he is running, and so is Donald Trump. We know he is. Favorability ratings for most of the likely presidential candidates, Joe Biden is like 41.5% favorability. Ron DeSantis happens to be higher at 44% or so. Both of them are better than Donald Trump. He's at 38%. Does that give us kind of a glimpse into the future of how these races might shape up in 2024?
It sure does. I mean, it really does show that both parties have uphill battles to win the presidency and to really be resonating with the American people. I mean, that's really the big message that I'm getting from some of these numbers that you cite, Tom. And that's really something that should be concerning for both parties and for every camp that is either declared they're running or plans to declare.
Let's say the Biden team hires you, Roshini, and now you're working for them and you're advising them. Politically, do you address the age issue head on? Do you joke about the age issue, or do you try and hide it?
Well, I don't know if you want to joke about it, but I do think you have to address it head on. I think you have to say, look, here are all do a physical, publish the results of the physical. I mean, be as transparent as you can be about health. That would be one of the things. And then now is the time to inspire the country. If you are going to run again, President Joe Biden, really tell us what you're going to do for the country, use your experience, and inspire. That would be the speech that I would either try to write myself for them or would advise them to write if I were working with that team.
You know, Joe Biden did not hit the roads back in 2020 when he was running for president. And to me, there's so much benefit to just showing up. And we've seen that with his trip to Ukraine. I mean, he was praised by both sides of the aisle, but he was heavily criticized for not showing up to East Palestine, Ohio. If he had made that trip to Ohio, do you think, and then followed that up to Ukraine, would Biden's numbers be higher than what they are right now, do you think?
Oh, yeah, I do think so. I mean, no matter what, and I've been critical of Joe Biden, he is a charming person. When he is, pressing the flesh, he does well. So you always want to play to your strengths no matter what the situation is, whether you're running for office or otherwise. And anytime he can get out there and really have intimate encounters with smaller groups, really look like he's traveling, look like he's showing us that he's healthy, those would be really good optics for Biden and his team.
Yeah. Pretty charming until he demagogues half the country. Then that's not so charming. I don't think.
That's not so good. Agreed.
Yeah, Roshini Rajkumar, political strategist and host of the Crisis Files podcast. Great to talk with you again. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Roshini.